Hey guys, so welcome to this cruelty-free makeup tutorial. This is like Barbie vibes, as you would have seen from the intro. So to start off, I'm using my Anastasia Dip Brow, and this is in the shade Blonde, and I'm just mostly putting it through the tail end of my brows to give them a bit more shape and definition. And then I'm using my Mellow Brow Powder Duo in Taupe or Taupe, depending where you are, how you say it. So I'm just putting that on to set the dip brow and also just make them look a little bit more natural. And then I'm going in with the tinted brow gel, and this is in the shade Light Brown. It is a little bit warm for me, but I think with the cooler shades underneath it's fine. So then I'm just using my spoolie to kind of make sure all the products are dispersed evenly through the brow hairs and there's no kind of chunks and stuff. Then I'm going in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer and a flat brush, and I'm just cleaning up under my eyebrows, not on the top because I like them to look fluffier on the top, but just underneath to give it a nice clean line. And once I've done that, I'm just going to drag the concealer a bit down onto my eyelids, so kind of use it as a primer as well. Then I'm getting my NYX Jumbo pencil in Milk. And this is really, really white, so I'm just blending it out with like a synthetic brush, and this kind of just gives a really, really light base for your eyeshadows. Then I'm taking my Too Faced Peach palette, and I'm going in with this light shade called White Peach, and this is just to set that light base that I've put down and also just do my brow bone highlight at the same time, just using a Real Techniques brush to do so. And then I'm taking this kind of light pink shade called Georgia, and I'm using this as my transition color with a large fluffy brush. So this is just to kind of start laying down some color so that all of the other shades will transition in well. Then I'm taking my Modern Renaissance palette, and this is by Anastasia, and I'm using Buon Fresco. So you don't have to use all the same colors that I'm using, just use whatever you have on hand. A lot of people have these palettes, so I kind of figured I'd use those. So I pop that in the crease, and then I'm going in with Tempera, which is just like a bone colored shade, and I'm using it as on top of my brow bone highlight again. So then to cut the crease, I'm using the same concealer as before and like a flat synthetic brush, and I'm using this to kind of carve out my crease. So this takes a wee while, just needs a little bit of patience, so just make sure you just kind of layer it up in thin layers and not too much at once, otherwise it can get a bit cluggy. So I'm just kind of like cutting the crease and then drawing it out, so to create kind of like a wing on the edge, so you can see there. That's what I decided to do. Then I'm grabbing this Apricot shade. Now this is from the Alice Through the Looking Glass palette by Urban Decay, and I don't really use this very often because the shades are quite unusual, I suppose, but this one's called Reflection, and it's a really, really nice apricot shade. You do need to build it up a wee bit, but once you do, it is like this really, really nice shade. And then I'm going in with Paradox, which is like a darker apricot shade with a bit more shimmer in it. Now to cut that crease even more, I'm getting a flat definer brush and going back in with Buon Fresco from the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm just kind of defining that crease a bit more. Then I'm taking my Mellow Cosmetics, this is a liquid lip paint in the shade Milan, and I'm using my Jessup eyeliner brush, which I have a video reviewing these brushes coming up soon. But I decided to use this brush for this. It was actually quite good. I thought it was going to be a little bit crap, but it worked really well. And so I'm using this liquid lipstick as a eyeliner, just because I wanted that kind of Barbie pink vibe. And then I'm going to set that lipstick with Caramelized, which is a pink shimmery shade from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Then I'm taking my Stella Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow in the shade Kitten Karma, and I'm using like a thin short shader brush to pop this right into the crease where I've cut the crease earlier. So with my eyelids, they kind of they're not really like deep set, but they kind of do sit back a wee bit, so you can't see it when my eyes are really open, but when they're closed it looks quite cool. So just going ahead and applied some Yuki lashes from Eve Lashes, which are cruelty free lashes. Of course everything in this video is cruelty free. And then I'm popping on my Too Faced Hangover Primer. It's coconut scent. It's so good. And this is the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Golden, which is a little bit too like yellowy golden for me. And I'm mixing in some Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, and this is the liquid one in Opal. And then I'm just applying a bit of my concealer in the lighter shade, hoping that when I mix it all together it will match my neck. When I bought this foundation the other day at Mecca in Wellington, I was a bit gutted because once I tried it at home, the shade was not the right shade for me, and obviously I'm in Fiji now, so I couldn't do anything about it. But I'm just kind of making it work. It's a really, really nice foundation, very like nice coverage, so I figured, hey, I'll just mix it and it'll be all good. So then I'm going over top with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, these in the shades medium and light medium, or medium and light. But anyway, the light is too light for me, so I just mix the two together, and I find it kind of makes a nice kind of in-between shade. I should probably just get the in-between shade of concealer, shouldn't I? But this kind of was working for me, so I'm just using my Shane XO Beauty brush to kind of blend everything in, and then I'm just using like a flat definer brush to make sure that it sharpens up that pink wing on the outer edge so that it doesn't like ruin it. Then I'm going with my Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette, and I'm mixing all of the light shades on this kind of big flat brush to set underneath my eyes to make sure that it's nice and bright, and of course the concealer doesn't want to crease or move around. And then I'm just popping that in my T-zone as well, just to keep that lightness there. And then I'm using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder to pop on all over the rest of my face with a big fluffy brush. This is just to set the foundation. Then I'm going back into the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette, and I am just using the contour shade in the middle to do underneath my cheekbones. Jaw, I'm just kind of outlining my chin as well, and then I'm using a small fluffy eyeshadow brush to contour my nose, starting from my brows and working the way down, just to kind of thin it out a wee bit. And then I'm dipping into the lighter shade and just going down the sides of my nose so that the brown contour shade isn't too dark. Then I'm grabbing my Balm Bahama Mama bronzer and a tulip kind of face brush, and I am blending that in. I don't want to look too bronzed, but enough to give myself, you know, a bit of a glow. Oh, the lighting changed there a lot. So this is the Champagne Pop Jaclyn Hill Becca palette, and I'm just using that. This is a really nice like face powder brush from XO Beauty. I've been really, really loving it for my highlighter. So I'm just applying that on top of my cheekbones, on my temples, down my nose and Cupid's bow. And then I used a little brush just to pop it on the inner corners of my eyes as well. Then I went into my Juvia's Place the Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette, and I am mixing together that Taupe shade and the Yara shade. So it just was very, very like peachy. So just mixed it with the bronzy shade just to kind of get like a good kind of middle color combination. And then under my eyes, I am running that Bon Fresco shade again from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and that was all I popped under my eyes. And then I'm using that Milk pencil to make my eyes appear brighter. Popped on some mascara, and this is the LA Girl Cosmetics Auto Lip Liner. And then I'm using my new XO Beauty lipsticks. And I'll put the shade names of these below. These were very, like that one is very Barbie pink. And then I went on top of it with Ubuntu to kind of dull it down a little bit. Just make sure it was, but still very Barbie-like. So it all came out very Barbie-ish. So I hope that you liked it. Everything in this video, all the brands were cruelty-free. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Requests as always. I would love to hear from you. Any comments. And of course, please check out my social media channels. I'll leave them all below. And hopefully see you in the next video. Oh yeah, and please subscribe. It helps me so much. Alright, see you. Bye.